everyone, my name is Ashley and me and my groupmates are here to explain and present to you what is OOP. So, come with us as we explore and dive down into the world of object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming, or OOP. It is creating a program using an object. But what is an object? An object has an attributes that combines its properties and methods that refers to its actions. And unlike procedural programming that uses step-by-step instructions, object-oriented programming focuses on creating reusable objects that makes the program modular, easier to maintain, and adaptable to changes.
So, what is the importance of this?
First, for usability. It ensures that code can be reused by organizing complex programs into manageable components. This also saves developers time by preventing the need to write and test a new blocks of code from scratch. Next is for scalability. Object-oriented programming promotes modularity and flexibility, making it easier to manage complexity and easier to change. And last is for better collaboration. Through abstraction, object-oriented programming's components can interact seamlessly without developers needing to know the internal logic of each piece. This allows developers to work on their respective parts independently, leading to more efficient collaboration.
To make it easier to understand, let me give you a simple example. Think of an apartment building, the class is the blueprint, and each apartment unit is an object. Every unit has its own data like the tenant and rent, and methods like turning on water or electricity. Encapsulation means each unit's data is private, so other tenants cannot change it. Inheritance is like creating new apartment types, such as a penthouse, from the same design. Polymorphism is when apartments follow the same structure but still have differences, like some with balconies and some without. This is how OOP helps us write code that's cleaner, manageable, and easier to maintain. Before we move to OOP, let's first understand procedural programming. Procedural programming is a way of writing code that gives the computer a step-by-step list of instructions and breaks the program into functions or procedures for specific tasks. It focuses on clear linear flow and reusable code, making the program easier to reuse, organize, and maintain.
While object-oriented programming is a fundamental paradigm based on the concepts of programming. So, what is the difference between procedural programming and object-oriented programming? Let me tell you something. This is the sample code of procedural programming. We have defined a three static functions or methods, and these functions operate on separate variables. You'll just create a main method on the same class in order for you to call the methods you created earlier. On the other hand, this is the sample code of object-oriented programming. We have defined a three instance variables or fields and created a constructor to initialize these variables when we create a new object. We also created three methods, but this class has no main method. So we'll create another class that has main method, and we will create an object or object instantiation. And we'll use this object to call the methods we created from the other class. The core idea is that procedural programming focuses on procedural steps wherein data and methods are separate, while object-oriented programming focuses on creating objects wherein data and methods are bundled together.
Now, why is OOP often better than procedural programming? Object-oriented programming is best used for large and complex applications, especially those that need reusable code, long-term updates, teamwork, or programs that model real-world entities like accounts or products. Compared to procedural programming, OOP is better for growing projects because it makes the programs modular, meaning the code is organized into objects. It also provides encapsulation, which keeps data protected, and reusability through inheritance, so we don't have to rewrite code. With polymorphism, it's flexible for adding new features, and overall, it's more scalable for handling bigger and more complex systems. Let's start with the first concept in OOP, which is class. In OOP, a class is a blueprint or template used to create objects. It defines the data, or called attributes or properties, and the actions, called methods, that its object will have.
For example, this is the apartment class. It's like a plan that describes what each apartment should have, such as its color and floor. From this class, we can create apartment objects.
In object-oriented programming, object is an instance of a class. A class is a blueprint and it is utilized to make an object. Each object has a state. that is defined by its field, and it can also perform actions defined by its method. A yellow banana and a red apple is an example of object that belongs to the class fruit. Object allows programmers to work in real life in code by packaging data and action into an object. Encapsulation refers to protecting variables of a class. The only way to change and modify these variables are through public, setters, and getters. This method protects the code from unauthorized access to its data. For example, you could have two private fields, the name and the color, in your class fruits. The getColor method allows you to access these fields, and the setter method, setColors, allows you to modify them. This allows the object's state to be altered and used appropriately while protecting and guarding its internal workings.